Hey everybody, it's me, Kajaya, and I am back again with another fun astro video. This is something I had this is the idea that I had for my celebrities and historical figures section. I wanted to highlight some of the astrologers in the astro community, some that I've come into contact with and who have inspired me. I feel like they are the celebrities in our astro communities. They've been doing it for a long time, and I just wanted to do their charts. I'm joined by my fellow Scorpio rising Josie. Say hey, what's up? Josie.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry.
But yeah, we're actually doing a fellow Scorpio rising chart, Starlight Oracle. Thank you so much for giving us your information and allowing us to do this. So are you ready?
Ready?
All right, so Starlight Oracle was born with the Sun and Mercury in Taurus conjunct in the 7th house, Venus and Jupiter in Taurus in the 6th house, Pluto in Libra in the 11th, Uranus in the 12th house, Neptune in the 1st house in Sagittarius, Mars in Leo, and Saturn in Cancer, both conjunct in the 9th house. So Josie, I'm going to let you kick this. Oh, and Moon in Aquarius in the 4th house. Almost forgot that. Moon in Aquarius in the 4th house. So Josie, I am going to let you kick this off.
Thank you. So, I guess it's appropriate to start with the ascendant in the first house. The ascendant is at 27 degrees Scorpio, and Neptune is at 12 degrees Sagittarius in the first house. That answers a lot of questions I had about her watching her Scorpio rising video, because I thought she has the mystery of a Scorpio ascendant, that kind of mystical, spiritual vibe going on. But she didn't seem as menacing or as dark as a typical Scorpio rising is known for. And I think Neptune in the first house is one of the most interesting placements. Alyssa Sharp was talking about this one time, about how Marilyn Monroe has Neptune in the first house and how Neptune reflects whoever is looking at it. So you don't tattoo Marilyn Monroe on your arm because you love Marilyn. You love Marilyn Monroe because she reflects some part of yourself, some broken aspect of yourself. Neptune in the first house people are kind of like Pisces rising, in the sense that you see yourself in them. And so they're kind of like chameleons, always transforming to be kind of like who they're around. They're very empathic in that way. So that kind of gives a twist on the Scorpio ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
And it amplifies the psychic power, having both Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusions, etc., with the very psychic Scorpio rising.
All right, I totally agree with that. And I also wanted to take a stab at her Neptune in the 1st house in the sign of Sagittarius. And I feel both Neptune and Sagittarius have something in common, which is a search for a higher truth, a spiritual one, and to find meaningful truths for herself that she could live by to enrich her life. And I'm sure she lives based on her own philosophies and ideas. And like you said, with that Neptune in the 1st house in that Scorpio rising, I feel like it makes her she's really in tune with herself, because it makes her very retrospective. But also this combination makes her an empath, because she's able to, pick up on energy, on the energies of others that they don't even know that they're giving off themselves. So she's able to read emotions even stronger from people with that combination. And as far as the aspect, her Neptune is in conjunct her Jupiter in the 6th house. It's a direct in conjunction. The orb is 0 degrees. So the lesson here basically is to see others as they are and accept them for what they are, and not feeling obligated to live by the expectations of others and what you should be doing. Living by your own expectations and by your own standards. So that's, the lesson in that aspect for her, that in conjunct from Neptune to her Jupiter. So that's what I have.
Okay.
So what's next for you?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I said we basically both. I told her, just pick out things that stand out to you in her chart, and I did the same thing. So yeah. So go ahead. What you got next?
Oh, I was gonna say Neptune first house people are kind of like a Pisces rising in the sense that that watery Neptune energy kind of conforms to whoever you're with. So I've noticed that Neptune first house people kind of like reflect a broken part of yourself that needs healing. And so they're kind of like shapeshifters. They're constantly changing with who they're with. And so sometimes they feel kind of lost, like, who am I at the end of the day? But it's a really powerful placement.
Another thing that stood out to me in her chart was she has Uranus in the 12th house. And I like to see this combination like, a closeted rebel. Both Uranus and the 12th house are very creative. So I feel like she expressed herself in a unique way, which is what Uranus is all about, through the 12th house. She expressed herself in a unique way through the 12th house, which would be astrology and, metaphysical things and tarot cards, all the things that she does. And also the other thing that stood out to me about her chart was her Uranus doesn't receive any, you know, positive or smooth aspects because, the hard aspects are really what makes your chart. So she has a square from Saturn and Mars and an opposition from her Jupiter. Now, all of those aspects have one big thing in common, and it just really makes her, the word eccentric comes
Yeah.
to mind. Eccentric, a nonconformist, which are not always a bad thing, but it also makes her original. And because it's all hitting her 12th house again, it makes her really intuitive and extremely psychic.
Hmm.
And you said you wanted to comment on her moon in the 4th house?
I
Or what's
think
next in your notes?
I think I was gonna comment on Moon square the Sun and square the Ascendant.
Okay.
Okay, so when the Moon is square the Sun, I found that these people kind of have a hard time getting what they need because the Sun is like your ego needs, your drives, what you want to accomplish in the world, along with the node, but that's also kind of the Sun thing. And then the Moon is like your emotional needs, what you need for security. And when they form a square, it's like you can't get both of those needs fulfilled. Because I've noticed Taurus suns really have like a drive for stability. They want to create a life that's stable and isn't constantly in turmoil. But the moon in Aquarius really needs like Uranian things, like change, the new age spirituality around you, new exciting things. So it's like she can never quite have that stability or that moon in Aquarius craziness. It's like you gotta pick one when the moon and the sun make a square.
Right. So it's just like, I guess her lesson would just be finding balance with that. Because she has a lot of fixed energy in her chart, a lot of Taurus energy, and Mars and Leo, Moon in Aquarius. A lot. Her chart is really fixed. I wanted to comment on her Sun conjunct Mercury in the 7th house. And it's a really tight conjunction, which is interesting. That conjunction gives her a really strong and a fixed opinion, also because it's in Taurus. But I think with it being in the 7th house, she's willing to hear other people out and take what they have into consideration. Now, whether or not, she's going to apply what you say or sway her opinion, that's another conversation. But I do feel it does give her an open ear and she is willing to listen. This conjunction also makes great teachers, with it being in the 7th house of other people and relationships. I feel it manifests itself with her teaching astrology to people via her YouTube channel, and that's how she connects with others, also with the services she provides, expressing her ideas and opinions about certain things and teaching people about metaphysical topics. Is how I feel this aspect and placement manifests itself in her life. Connecting to other and exchanging ideas is really important, and building solid and trustworthy relationships and that are honest are really big for her with that conjunction in the 7th house and it being in Taurus also. So that's what I have on that.
It looks like Venus is within 8 degrees of the sun. I don't know. Do you consider 8 degrees close enough to be a conjunct?
It's a conjunction. I mean, it's it's a loose conjunction, but it is a conjunction.
Okay, so we can say that the sun, Mercury, and Venus are conjunct.
Yes, but how do you feel that works out because it's in different houses now? So I guess connecting two people like providing a service for people.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Is
mean,
it
I've
possible?
heard that even if it's in a different house, it doesn't matter because it's still conjunct, but it's like it just brings on two energies except for
Yeah.
one. So it's like the Venus in the Aries has this drive to lead others, and then the seventh house, Mercury, it's like a drive to lead others to better themselves, if that makes sense.
So her Venus is in Taurus.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry. You're right. I got that wrong. Never mind. Forget what I just said.
It's a small picture, isn't it? It's a small picture. I'm looking at it on my phone also, but her Venus is in Taurus. I think with her Venus in Taurus conjunct her Sun and Mercury, I feel like the energy sort of spills over into the other house. So I guess providing a service for people is really important to her because the sixth house is the house of service.
Mm-hmm.
So she loves providing a service for other people. I guess according to her own standards, because it's in Taurus and it's fixed, and
Mm-hmm.
fixed signs like to do what they want to do. So, yes, providing a service for people, I believe, is really important to her.
I think so because she has a giant stellium in the sixth house. It looks like the asteroid Lilith, Chiron. The is that the north or south node?
South Node.
The south node. What is that? That's Saturn. No, that's not Saturn. That's
That's
something else.
Jupiter.
Yes, Jupiter and Venus are all in the sixth house.
Yes.
Again, with the Alyssa Sharp quotes, I think I heard her say once that a bunch of stuff in the sixth house can either mean a physical illness or it can mean like a non-physical illness in the sense that like somebody with a stellium in the sixth house is constantly surrounded by like toxic people and toxic situations and they have to like purge out these toxic people as if it's an illness so it can manifest either way. And I would think that for a healer to like get to your full extent of healerness, you
Healer.
would
That's
have
that's a
to like
word.
go, yeah, I decided it's a word. I
Okay.
would think
No
you would have
argument
to
there.
go through a lot of toxic situations and purging of them to get to that highest self.
That's really good. I also see that full sixth house is her being extremely disciplined. Having a routine is important for her. Knowing, having a schedule worked out about where she's going and what she's going to do is really big for her, which is great for success because you're able to sort of line up all of your obligations and commit to certain things and stick to it and not, be flying all over the place and going this way 1 second and that way 1 second. You're able to commit to certain things and see them through.
Yeah, Mercury in the sixth house. Actually, no, Mercury's not in the sixth house. I'm sorry. I am all cloudy today. Never
She's a
mind.
Pisces, so just forgive her.
Okay.
No, you're an Aries.
Yeah, I can't believe you just called me a Pisces.
No, you have Venus and Saturn in Pisces. I'm sorry.
Yep, that lovely placement. Chiron, the wounded healer, is in the sixth house, and that's the home house for Chiron because he's ruled by Virgo in the sixth house. So I would say that Chiron feels really at home there. And then there's Jupiter there. And the house that Jupiter is in tends to be an area where you have luck. So I would say that there's a lot of luck when she's following a specific routine and thinking in a very systematic way.
Right.
Oh, and then there's Lilith and Aries in the sixth house. I love Lilith. Lilith is the best. I think of Lilith as like the Gloria Steinem of the asteroids. It's like that bad bitch, aggressive woman asteroid. And it's an Aries. So that means like kind of like an alpha female placement. I love it.
Mm. I haven't explored that much into Lilith, but I will.
You should. Where's your Lilith?
My Lilith is in Aquarius in the third house.
Huh.
So, in Aquarius, yeah. I think I know it's in Aquarius. That I do know as a fact. It's in Aquarius. So now, she has I talked to this about her. She has big out of sign aspects. Her Sun and Mercury are in Taurus, but they aspect her Pluto, which is in Libra. She has another one from her Mars in Leo. And I see all those signs deal with creative self-expression. Her Sun is in Taurus, Mars in Leo, and Pluto in Libra. All are very creative signs. So I feel this gives her amazing creative abilities. And with all that energy in the sixth house, she's able to hone in on it and do something constructive with it and be serious about it. And I'm sure she applies it to her astrology work, being creative with astrology. So
Probably doesn't know how creative she is because the 12th house is the I don't know what's going on subconscious house. And when Uranus is in the 12th house, I would think you don't know about the Uranian tendencies if they're in the unconscious house.
or
And
she
I
could
would,
be like blind to them.
yeah, and I would think that they were kind of suppressed during childhood, and that's why they ended up in the 12th house because somebody said, like, this is something you need to hide away.
Oh yeah, don't be an individual. It's not good.
Exactly.
Don't be yourself. You can't do that. We cannot allow you to be yourself. One of the last things that I got was that she has Saturn in Cancer in the ninth house, conjunct her Mars in Leo. Also, with her Moon in Aquarius in the fourth house, I feel this symbolized someone who had to learn how to express their emotions in a healthy way. Even though Saturn in Cancer is a natural opposition, both Saturn in Cap and Saturn in Cancer look for security. Saturn and Cancer on an emotional level, and with Capricorn on a more status and power level. So with this being in her ninth house, the things she believes in are very important to her. Also, I feel she's been able to pull lessons or see lessons from things that have happened to her in life from her upbringing. And it gave her a better outlook on a situation. She didn't dwell on it, and she didn't continuously pull negative emotions from it. She was able to look for the power within it, and I think it gave her strength due to that conjunction of her Saturn with Mars and Leo. It gave her the strength to continuously carry on.
Saturn in the ninth house. Usually there's a long period of time in which they develop their beliefs. I wouldn't think she would have came into this world of astrology and new age stuff until a later age because Saturn kind of slows down the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like expands the time zone, time span.
It does, but I think that conjunction from Mars and Leo sort of switches it up, sort of speeds it up because it is her Saturn is in Cancer, so it's not in its best position. But I think with Mars and Leo there, it's able to pull out certain qualities from it. Better.
Yeah, right.
That's how I would see it. That's how I would see it.
You're right. And Mars in the ninth house generally means somebody who's really ready to stand up for their beliefs. Like they're not going to change what they think for anybody.
And it's in
and
Leo,
it's in a
just like
fixed
yours.
sign.
Now I have a quote. I like to call him my nodal expert from Walter about her North Node in Scorpio in the 12th house and her South Node in the 6th house. And Walter writes, I feel because the MC is in Leo, this person likes and needs to take charge of their career. And because the moon is in Aquarius and I see this person likes their family, their community, because North Node in Scorpio, they want to show others how to build community, wealth, and help them / us to be sustainable. The South Node in Taurus shows how to make their own resources and know how to share with others. Now it is time to take the leap and help people share wisdom, with many others while not losing their self and identity in the process. So
That's so accurate.
yeah, Walter's great. Walter's great. I always get his advice on north and south nodes.
Yeah, I remember you guys doing a video together that totally like broadened my understanding of what the nodes mean.
So that is all I have for this chart reading. Do you have anything else you want to throw in there?
Yeah, it looks like there's a grand cross between. I don't know if the ascendant would count as a planet for this or not, but the ascendant.
It's a very important point in the chart, so I would count it.
So you've got the ascendant at 27 degrees Scorpio, the moon at 22 degrees Aquarius, sun 29 degrees Taurus, and part of fortune at 20 degrees Leo. And those all form a grand square. And I don't know if part of fortune or the ascendant could be considered part of it because they're not actual planets, but those are both pretty important things. What do you know about grand squares?
Grand squares. Oh, I know about a square. So a grand square would make her really ambitious, especially with her part of fortune connected to it, and also in a very close square to her moon. I would guess a big fight, like you said, for individuality and to really express herself.
Right.
Finding power in that, especially with her ascendant being involved, you know, how other people see her, with her part of fortune, you know, the things that feel right to her, with her moon on the IC, an emotional level, and the sun, you said?
The sun and Mercury.
Sun and Mercury in the 7th house, all those houses deal with people and, you know, how you see yourself, your emotional level. So just a struggle to stand for who she is as a woman and as a person and what she believes in. I mean, of course, there's a, you know, that's the challenge, but that is the ending result, which would be confidence in a strong sense of self. And knowing your purpose in life, because that's what your part of fortune is, you know, what feels right to you. So that's how I would see it.
Yeah, I keep on thinking that looks like the childhood home and its kind of conservativeness kind of made her the way she is. Because seeing how the moon is down here in the 4th house and it's in opposition to the midheaven, and it's part of that square
Yeah.
we just talked about. So I would say like a very conservative home kind of gave her the radical views that she has.
She had to break free. I think every Aquarius 4th house wants to break free.
Definitely.
Did you? Just
Yeah,
like,
I did.
I cannot wait to get out of here. I can't wait to get out of this place. So we can like express ourselves. Like, you know, just, you know, I need to be an individual. I need to be unique. So yeah, I totally see where you're coming from.
And that's why we have this Leo midheaven where it's like, I want to be the star. Please let me be the star. I just want to be the star.
No, it's not that. It's shining for, you know, it's shining our inner light. That's how I see it. The Leo midheaven, shining our inner light. You know, being unique and being creative and just showing it to the world, standing as individuals. That's how I see it. And that's what I have. That's all I have. You? Any more?
The sign of Taurus is at 29 degrees, you know, the sun and the Mercury, and that's considered a critical degree because if you believe in karma, the 29th degree is like the sign is about ready to go into the next sign, but it like has one last thing to say and like one major lesson to learn in where it is now. So it's like the sun in Taurus has one more thing to learn before in the next life it can progress on to Gemini, right? Gemini's next.
Yes, Gemini's next. So is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so that is your chart reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Are you going to join me for Penny Astrology's chart?
Yes.
So we will be doing Penny Astrology's chart next. And again, Starlight Oracle, thank you for allowing us to do this. I hope you enjoyed the reading, the conversation that we had. And yeah, and thank you, Josie, for joining me and doing this with me.
Thank you for the invitation and happy belated birthday, Starlight Oracle.
Thank you. Bye.